around these portals. I'm gonna create portals at people's places and stuff, and come in as ghosts and whatnot.
Hello again, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kira. Today I'm going to tell you some weird things I did as a kid. I got a whole list of them. It's a lot, but blah 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 blah. If you like these type of videos, please like and comment below. So let's get into it. So the first story is I would go to my grandma's house quite often. So my mom and dad were split up, so I went to my dad's house every other weekend. And then there were some days where I would go to my grandma's house, like on like a Saturday or whatever, and I was at my dad's, like when he went to the store, like I would go, me and her would go do something, and then we would go to her house and he would come pick me up. And for a long time, I would say a couple years, I tried to dig a hole of china in my grandma's backyard. Like straight up, there was a pathway that went from the little patio thing on the side of her house all the way through the yard back to where the garage was, and there was like a little corner. I tried to dig a hole of china for a long time. Like every year I would like restart it for like, I would say for like a 2 or 3 years. Like I was dedicated. I like heard about it where people were like, you can dig a hole of china, and some people were like, no you can't. So I decided that I was gonna test it, and I was gonna dig that hole of china. I don't think I ever got farther than maybe like a foot into the ground, but yep, try to dig a hole of china. Another thing that I did as a kid was, I talked to myself all the time. I would talk to myself. I still talk to myself all the time. But the thing that my mom thought was the funniest, and I think is the weirdest, is when I was playing a game and stuff in my room. My favorite thing to play was like teacher, and so when I was playing teacher, I decided that I needed to go to the bathroom. I would have all my students come with me to the bathroom, and then I would continue to talk to myself and teach and stuff while I was going to the bathroom on the toilet. And I would be in there for a long time. My mom would walk by and she would hear me. I don't know why. I just made sense when I was playing. I'd be like, all the boys go to the bathroom that way and all the girls follow me to the bathroom, and then I would just continue teaching on the toilet. I was a dedicated teacher, man. Another story is I am very much a cat person. My grandma has always had 5 or 6 cats that I know of. We had cats in my mom's house. I had cats in my dad's house. Cats have been like just a thing that I've grown up with, and I love them. You've probably seen I have 2 cats named Patches and Fergus. I did a cat montage video of them before. That's the cat tree in the background. I like cats. Going to my grandma's house and stuff, we would go like on the weekends and stuff because we'd celebrate birthday parties. And during the birthday parties, I would have my grandma put milk in a bowl and like put like fruit snacks or something in a bowl on the floor, and I would pretend to be a cat, and I would drink the milk out of the bowl like a cat, and I would like walk around on the floor and I would meow, and I would have people pet me, and I wanted to be a cat, I guess. I don't know. I remember that like very vividly because I got really good at drinking the milk out of the bowl and really good at getting the treats out of the bowl, and then I got to be to a certain age where I kind of thought, this is weird, I should stop doing this, and I stopped doing it, but I did it for a while. Another thing that I did as a kid at my grandma and papa's farm was when you would come down the dirt road, there was one part of their farm, and then you went up a hill, and then the house on the hill, and then there was like another part of it. So I was down the hill, and I was down the hill on like the lower part, and there were all these like bluebirds, these little bluebirds like flying around in the air, and I caught one. I don't remember how old I was, but I just reached up and snatched one out of the air, snatched a bird, and then I turned to my mom and I was like, Mom, look it, I caught a bird, like oh my god. And my mom was like, put that down, and like freaked out and was like, oh my god, like I can't believe you just caught that bird out of the air, like what are you doing? And I thought that she was going to be proud of me because I caught a bird out of the air, but then she like freaked out and was like, you need to go inside, you need to wash your hands, and was like this whole big thing. But yeah, I caught a bird out of the air. Oh, my next story is, this is a story of how I was a vegetarian for a year and a half, from 3rd grade to partway through 4th grade. So at my school, I don't know if they do it at like your guys' schools, but the school, when I went to school, in elementary school, every year they had this person come to our class. Like once a year they would come to our class and they would talk to us about the food pyramid, and they would pick one section out of the food pyramid and they would give us foods and stuff out of the pyramid and talk to us about how we could get our daily intake that we're supposed to have from each part of the pyramid and stuff that falls in that category and everything. So we were talking about protein, and the lady brought up about how people could be like a vegetarian and people don't eat meat and they get protein other ways by eating beans, and like there's other stuff that you get protein from. And I was a very picky eater when I was a kid, and I ate very little meat. So I was like, oh, so I don't have to eat meat? Oh my god. So she was like talking about this and stuff, and then when my mom picked me up from school, I got in the car and she was like, how was school? And I went, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore. And she was like, what? And I was like, I'm a vegetarian now. And she was like, what? And I was like, this lady came to our class today and said that we didn't have to eat meat, that there were other ways that we could get our protein, so I'm a vegetarian now. And my mom was like, okay. And I stuck to it for a year and a half. Vegetarian. But yep, I just was like, I just got in the car and I was like, I'm a vegetarian now. And my mom was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is a thing. How I stopped being a vegetarian was, it was my brother's birthday and we were going to Texas Roadhouse, and my mom was like, I turned to my mom and I was like, Mom, would you be mad if I wasn't a vegetarian anymore? And she was like, no, actually it'd be like amazing if you weren't a vegetarian anymore, because the freaking like vegan food's expensive. And I was like, good, because I really want chicken strips. And then that was the end of my vegetarianism. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be a vegetarian, just do it. I don't know. It's pretty easy to not eat meat if you don't like it, I would say. And then my last story is in kindergarten. My mom told me about this. I don't remember this, but my mom told me this story and I think it's really funny. So in kindergarten, I started school, and about 2 weeks in, my mom got a call from my teacher, and the teacher was like, Kira is not making any friends. Like, she isn't talking to anybody. She's not making any friends. And I don't know why. And so when I came home, my mom was like, Kira, why aren't you making friends with anybody? Why aren't you friends with anybody? And I was like, well, you told me not to talk to strangers. And my mom was like, what? And I was like, you told me not to talk to strangers, so I wasn't talking to strangers. And my mom was like, you can talk to the kids at school. You can make friends with them. That's not what I meant by strangers. And I was like, oh. And then I came home the next day and I was like, Mom, I talked to like 3 different kids today and I made friends and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, that's great, honey. But yeah, I took stranger danger very seriously. And it concerned my teacher. But that is the end of weird things that I did as a kid, or more childhood stories from me as a kid. Like and comment below weird things that you did as a kid, and subscribe. And thanks for watching my video. Bye!